You know, with WrestleMania seemingly about 66 and a half days away, I know it's kind of hard to believe, 66 and a half days away, or 65 days, 65 and a half days away, if you will. Well, 66, seeing as though it was 16, well, you kind of get between 66 and 60, basically let's say about 66 days away. You know, a lot of people, and with the news going on of, you know, is he or is he not gone? Or is it a work? Is it a not a work? And all that. And pretty much you got a good percentage of, I'm not going to say what the percentage is, but you got a decent amount of fans that believe that what's going on currently, is a work. So, anyway, with that said, speaking of WrestleMania 30, a lot of people seem to think that the match card that's being planned out is set in stone, but yet it is not. You see, you already have rumors going around that because of what happened this past Sunday, WWE is scrambling to probably change things up at WrestleMania. Here's how it seems to be, according to one thing I read online. One of the plans they're considering is letting Daniel Bryan actually win the championship at Elimination Chamber and then defend it in a triple threat match against Randy Orton and Batista, a la same situation, if you will, similar situation as of 10 years ago when at WrestleMania 20 we had Benoit, Michaels, and Triple H. So, pretty much a repeat almost of 10 years ago, but with different participants, different kind of participants, and different, if not similar scenario. Now, with that said, though, you might say to yourself, well, where does that place Sheamus then? Sheamus is supposed to face Daniel. Well, here's the thing about that. Sheamus is not going to be out of the cold. You pretty much know that. Sheamus is not going to be out on the outside looking in. You see, this is what I look at. You got the Wyatt family right now, potentially going into a match at Mania. Probably Bray Wyatt against, right now it's Bray Wyatt and Cena. But we don't know that yet. For all we know, Bray Wyatt may be teaming up with both Luke Harper and Eric Rowan in a six-man. Or maybe even a handicap match. Almost similar, I should say, as to what happened 10 years ago. Now you might say, well, who would John Cena's partner be? Well, they can't have Hogan, so the best potential candidate would be Sheamus. I mean, honestly, it would be. When you think about it, it would be Sheamus. Now, you might also think, well, that would be kind of a low point for Sheamus. No, it wouldn't. It would not be a low point for Sheamus because Sheamus doesn't get hurt doing something like that. He wasn't hurt last year when he did the six-man tag against the Shield and lost. He wasn't hurt there. Neither was Randy Orton. Neither was the Big Show. Neither one of them was hurt. So, it didn't really hurt any of them any each way, when you think about it, despite how you feel. So this is what you could be looking at as an alternative. We could be having a triple threat match, like I said, a la what we had 10 years ago. And you could be having a handicap, maybe a six-man tag, if you will. Six-man tag, if you will, at WrestleMania as well. Here's what I mean by possible handicap. Wyatt against Sheamus and Cena. Makes sense. But then again, if you have the Wyatts' one mission to fight the machine, then you could insert somebody else into the picture. But who would that be? Who would you insert alongside? Who would you insert alongside? Who would you insert? Hold on for a second. was saying, who would you insert alongside Cena and Sheamus? Who could potentially use a big-time rub off those two? Well, quite easily, you put Big E Langston, the Intercontinental Champion. You put him into that situation. That's a potential partner for them. Or if you want to go straight up with Daniel Bryan and Batista, you can still have John Cena take on Bray, and you can go with, believe it or not, Sheamus and Randy against each other. And here's why. Again, remember, these are just my opinion. Now, keep in mind, this is just my opinion of potentially what I think could be great alternatives to switching the card up at Mania. You could have Sheamus take on Randy Orton, and here would be why. Sheamus could end up hitting the brogue kick on Randy and costing Randy the championship by having him be eliminated, maybe be the first eliminated, and Randy's not happy about that. Randy could come back later in the match, cost Sheamus his chance of being champion. Or maybe even try to cost him his chance right then and there, and Sheamus would be the second eliminated. That would build up to some kind of a rivalry between the two going into Mania. Makes sense. It really does. It really makes sense when you think about it. And I know you might say, well, didn't we see this match before? Yeah, we've seen it before, but let's not forget, recently, before Sheamus was injured, recently, Randy Orton and Sheamus were teaming up as a tag team known as the Celtic Vipers. So it kind of makes sense that they have a bit of history there, and it would work out perfectly. Now you might say, well, where does that leave Triple H? Triple H is supposed to be wrestling on this card. Well, again, that's where the situation of probably doing a handicap match could come in handy. You see, right now, it's still currently planned. It's not off the slate yet. You know, it's still currently on the table. It's not totally off the slate yet until we really get true confirmation. But it's not off the slate yet of CM Punk versus Triple H. That's still on the table somewhat. Not saying it's not going to be off the table. But then again, you have the alternative of doing Daniel Bryan Triple H, but that won't really help out because then you'll have basically a worse reaction than what you got at the Rumble. So, best scenario there is to, unfortunately, I hate to say this, turn Triple H babyface and have him team with Cena to go against the Wyatts because Triple H would be part of that machine the Wyatts keep talking about that they want to take down. So there you go. And when you think about it, it would be a big rub for the Wyatts. You know, it would be a big rub for the Wyatts to not just be in the ring with John Cena in a match at WrestleMania, but also be in the ring at the same time with Triple H. It would work. Now again, you could also do the six-man deal, and you could have maybe Big E join, maybe Sheamus join if you want to do the triple threat. You got all these different scenarios. Like if you want to do that triple threat match for the championship at Mania, you could have Sheamus and Hunter and Cena as a team against the Wyatts. It makes sense. Or you can do the handicap deal, and you can still go Sheamus Randy. Again, these are just scenarios I think would really work out. Now you might say to yourself, well, what else? What about Undertaker and Brock? Undertaker and Brock probably is going to be no doubt a lock now. Because if they want to do the triple threat, it's no doubt a lock. You know, for those two to go at. No doubt. But again, it all depends on what's going on with this whole situation with CM Punk and stuff. The fact is, the way I look at it, is these are just alternatives for WWE to look at as far as the WrestleMania 30 card goes. Especially if they're already talking about themselves of doing a triple threat. Because then again, like I said, you could do the handicap deal. You could do the one-on-one. I mean, you could still do one-on-one, but that would leave Sheamus out. Where would Sheamus be? Well, On the other hand, you could have Sheamus maybe feud or challenge Big E, putting in a Continental title. You could probably have Sheamus feud and challenge Dean Ambrose for the U.S. title. But from the looks of it, we may be getting a triple threat Shield matchup between all three members. So, you know, something's going to play. Oh, heck, you know, you got Alexander Rusev, the new guy. There's a perfect candidate for Sheamus right there. Have Sheamus face Rusev. Or heck, if you want to bring Kane into the situation and keep him corporate or make him go back to the monster but be a heel, Sheamus and Kane. Again, these are just alternatives to work around any potential problems. And if the CM Punk thing is a problem right now, if it's real, if it's legit, then, you know, again, there are these alternatives. There are these saving graces. You know, here you would have, like I said, with Triple H, you could turn him babyface if you have to, because that would be, you know, something. Because when you listen to it, sometimes fans don't really want to boo Triple H. They don't. So, turn him babyface, have him team with Cena, handicap match against the Wyatts. There you go. Makes sense. But again, these are just alternatives for potentially the top 6, maybe top 5 matches going in. These are just ideas being thrown out there. You know, you want to give Alexander Rusev a big rub and kind of make him like your next big thing, have him face Sheamus. There you go. You can still do your triple threat. Handicap match-wise, Wyatt's against John Cena. You know, or you could do Triple H against Kane. Think about it. Triple H gets sick and tired of Kane's reluctant disrespect for being the director of authority, taking things into his own hands. There you go, Triple H Kane. I'm just saying, folks, I'm just saying that these are just, in my opinion, just alternatives for what I think WrestleMania 30 could go with, as far as match card goes, match card wise. So, tell me what you guys think, though. What do you think would be the best alternatives from that kind of a category I gave you that WWE should go in? Oh, what do you think they should go in? What alternatives do you think they should go in with that collective list of players? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out. God bless.